everyone, welcome to Training Vlog Day number 2, training in the garage gym today. I absolutely love coming home from work and being able to train in here as much as I love training where I work in here, man. It's my own space, it's my own setup, everything's kind of built out how I like to train, so I absolutely love it. Today is going to be our upper body eccentric day today, so no running. We're gonna have a little bit of conditioning on the back end. This day was technically supposed to be our Tuesday, but just because of life, things going on, didn't get to train yesterday, so I'm gonna combine this upper body day and then the tempo runs that we should have had today on the back end today, and I'm gonna do that on in here in the garage on my assault runner. So a little bit inside, not the same as it would have been on the turf, but it's fine, we'll get it done. For today, I'm going to take you guys through our warm-up, a little bit of the movement prep. I got a couple different pieces of equipment in here that I'll use instead of at school, so kind of go through that, but hopefully you guys enjoyed today's video. We're going to get into this movement prep. Probably going to fast forward through the foam rolling piece of it just because a little bit basic and kind of can be a little daunting to just watch someone roll around the foam roller, but enjoy today's training vlog. So after foam rolling, I take this acupuncture mat and I'll kind of like use it for a little bit of foot wake up, kind of stand on it for a little bit, just trying to get feet receptors into my feet a little woken up. I've been doing this for, I want to say the last month or two. Definitely did it through most of my last training block. It absolutely sucked when I first started doing it in terms of like I could only go 1 foot on it. Had to get the other foot on the ground just to not as much pressure. But in terms of just waking your feet up, allowing them to kind of feel the ground, all the nerve endings that are in your foot, I think it's been the best things I've really added in. It actually feels nice afterwards. Something I haven't incorporated yet training with my athletes. Some people that I have come in, train with me here out of the garage through my Versatile Training Academy business. We've been adding it, and just the feedback's been overall pretty good. It sucks the first couple times you do it, but once you get used to it, I think it's really super beneficial for just getting those feet awake. And I just stand on it. Hopefully I can get to the point to where I'm walking around on it and moving a little bit more, and I try to hang out for like a minute, and from there go on to our next part of our movement prep. One of the last things I do for my movement prep that I've incorporated this has to be going on 6 months now, is using the breath belt. I've really liked this product. I've seen it since, oh my God, probably 2018, 2017. I first came across it probably on either YouTube or Instagram. It's really been a huge piece that's kind of helped me with like bracing, just learning how to create better interabdominal pressure. And I use it every single day in my movement prep. I'll usually hit a couple 90-90 breaths with it. We'll go some dead bug variations. Sometimes we'll do some half kneeling, not half kneeling, quadruped position stuff, and really just focus on breathing in, creating that pressure. It's been game changing for me to help me kind of deal with some lower back pain that I've had as I'm squatting. So first thing we're gonna do, we're gonna get to a 90-90 and just work some nice deep belly breaths into the belt. After our belly breaths, we'll scoot over and we're just gonna go to some alternating dead bugs, focusing on that lower back pushing to the ground, breathing in, bracing as we're moving. And these are 2 exercises, drills, pretty much anytime I'm lifting, I bring in, and it has been game changing with just some of the lower back pain that I've really been dealing with. We'll get into the last bit, which is gonna be kind of like our in-place dynamic warm-up that I like to call it. We'll kind of fast forward this and kind of have you guys just get a little visual of what it looks like. So that's gonna be our little bit of like movement prep between like soft tissue work, some foot activation, our bracing, and then a little bit of our dynamic warm-up. Last thing we were doing was shoulder cars. It comes from the FRC, functional range continuum. Basically, we're just taking a joint. Today, since we have upper body, we're working on shoulders, trying to make sure that that joint is not only mobilized, but has gone through its full range of motion. And basically, you're giving yourself a little bit of self-resistance, some isometric force as you're trying to take it through the entire range of motion, trying to make sure chest, shoulders, hips are all staying in line, that you're not kind of cheating to get that range of motion. You're taking everything through the shoulders. So we're gonna get set up. First thing we got today is some good old fashioned push press. All right, first exercise today in our A block is going to be a push press. We got a couple warm-up sets that we're gonna go through. And then we've got 4 sets of 3, I think, with a 4-second lower on the way back down. Again, push press, we're still gonna be creating power through those legs. I'm gonna start off with the barbell, warm up, and then kind of have our couple warm-up sets as we're going through this. One thing I like to do with my push presses, or kind of like any of my Olympic movements, honestly most movements, is make sure like warm up empty barbell, warm up to 50% all the way up to our working weight. I want that movement to look the same across the board. So rep 1 through rep 30, however many reps we're doing that day, I want them to look the same across the board. All right, so we're at our working weight today for our push press, 115 pounds. We've got a 4-second eccentric on the way back down. We'll get a slight reset before we dip and go. One thing, push press, I always like to think of is that basically if my back was on a wall, I want to keep a nice vertical torso as I'm then pushing up, because any kind of forward lean from that front rack position is going to have the bar possibly tip, take me off center, make me fall, or as then I'm dipping forward and I push, it's going to turn almost into an incline press instead of an overhead press. With that eccentric, I really have to think about staying in control, fighting that back down to that start position before going through that next rep. All right, last set on our push press. Again, we're trying to make sure these last 3 reps look like our first 4, look like our warm-ups. Really trying to have good intent, making sure we're getting our head through on each one of these reps. I feel like sometimes I think the push press is harder than, say, like a split jerk or a power jerk, just because I'm so overly thinking of like, all right, don't rebend my net legs, stay strong as I'm pushing up overhead. But not bad. First set of these. We'll see how next week goes. All right, so for our B block, our main strength movement today is going to be the bench press. I'm gonna warm up. I'll throw a couple clips of the warm up with some text underneath of just kind of my warm up sets, warm up weights, and just that way you guys can see how I progress my warm ups. It's not worth having a whole big montage going through all the warm up reps. All right, for bench today, we got 5 working sets of 3 reps with a 4-second eccentric. I think we're at 80% for my 1 rep max. So on the bar right now, we got 220. Really just focus on that eccentric controlling down, being nice and strong through the concentric following through. All right, set 5 up right now on this bench press. Eccentric's feeling good. Set 1, set 2, set 3 is a little bit of a grind. So really happy with the percentages I picked to correspond with this time under tension. Like, it's definitely doable, but it's also definitely a great challenge. And like, I'm feeling the stimulus already, if that's even a thing. I know you can't feel the stimulus, but like, it's really kind of that sweet spot of like volume, time under tension, and picking the right intensities for these. Oh. Yeah. Man, that third rep, like, nice. All right, going on to our C block. We're now gonna move into some pull variations instead of the 2 pushes that we just did. All right, for our C block, we got eccentric chin-ups. We're just gonna worry about jumping and slow lowering down on these. We've got 3 sets of 4 with a 5-second eccentric. I like to use the box to just give me a little bit help for jumping over. And we want nice control on every one of these. I think for our next set, I'm gonna adjust the box position just because I feel like I was trying to jump not only up, but like out to the chin-up bar, but not bad. Really just wanna focus on that slow eccentric coming down, build up from there. All right, so I didn't film the second set of these eccentric pull-ups, but I did change the belt situation a little bit on how I wanna set up for this, just so that way I can move the box into a better position, but then also I'm not hitting the box with the belt. So as I'm struggling like no other, trying to get this hooked up. So the bumper's gonna be a little bit higher on me. I've moved the box in just so I can get to a better jump position to get over the bar for these eccentric chin-ups. So this is the setup, how I'll do it from now on, just because I like the way I can get under the bar better. I'm not hitting the bumper plate on the bench after. One thing with the eccentric chin-ups is at the very end, we want to make sure that last inch or two, we're still controlling it down and fighting it, not getting to kind of that almost quarter lockout position and then just dropping down. Make sure you're fighting, getting all the 5 seconds, getting that full range of motion on every rep. All right, I hope you guys enjoyed this training vlog of day 2, the upper body eccentric day. Next video we come out with is going to be our lower body isometric day. So it's going to be different in terms of the exercises we're picking, how we're programming those exercises to kind of be more beneficial in an isometric positioning. Everything is going to be yielding for the next 4 weeks of this phase, and then as we get into the second phase, you guys are going to be seeing a lot more of our overcoming isometrics. So if you guys have any questions, you enjoyed this video, you want to know more about kind of how this program is being built out, specifically maybe about this day, drop it down in the comments. I'll answer you guys and give you as much information as I can on kind of how I came up with the concepts, why we're choosing certain rep ranges, certain tempos, and then kind of where the envision of this is going to go as we build onto our next phase and then into our next testing block. Appreciate you guys for watching. Have a good one.